approaching a girl and getting flat up told no, and then after that getting told that you are then ugly.
Wow! What up, YouTube? Hugh Blackman here.
It's your boy Burt Reynolds.
Today's topic:
why women handle rejection much harder than men do. And, well, I can just say for a fact, I feel like men get rejected more often.
More frequently.
Than women do. And not necessarily just in the dating market, but we're held to a standard of we have to go out there and be a provider and do this and do that. And like the world actually is nothing is guaranteed. So rejection comes with the territory when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like as men, we're taught a different lesson that the world is, it's not really black and white, but that's what we're taught. There's winners and then there's losers. I guess depending on when you were brought up, when we were brought up, that's how it was. There wasn't the participation badge. This everyone gets an award thing didn't come until later on down the line, but it was there's winners and then there's losers.
I got a participation trophy in elementary school.
That is awful.
For soccer. I'm not athletic. And they wanted us all.
I know, and that's the whole thing. Nobody wants feelings hurt, but that's not how the real world works when it comes, regardless of dating, whether it comes to jobs. Sometimes you get jobs, someone gets a promotion that might necessarily not deserve it. Is that fair? No. But you can either choose to let it erode away at you, eat away at you, or you can, find a different place in the company or go looking elsewhere. That's just the whole point is as a man, we're taught that you just need to deal with it and suck it up. Women are going to tell you no. People are going to tell you no all your life, But it's what you do with that decision. It's how you perceive the decisions that are, what things people tell you, and then no matter what, it's what you think of yourself. So have you personally, especially when it comes to the physical aspect, to dating women, have you ever turned a woman down, told her no? Say you said, all right, you want to hang out, let's hang out together. She shows up at your place. Let's say later on during the interaction, you decide, you know what? For whatever reason, maybe she's not attractive, but just maybe you just are not into her. The vibe's not there. It didn't reciprocate over like you thought it would.
Not necessarily in that retrospect. It was more on the first meetup. It's like, okay, I'm judgmental. And if I'm meeting you for the first time, and you kind of don't look like what you look like.
I mean, yeah, I agree.
I have the power to say no. It's all about consent here. So you can say no, I can say no.
Exactly. But was she upset when you told her?
But that's the thing. I know I've been preaching a video similar to this, or probably exactly like this. Yeah. But I feel like when you reject a woman, especially when she's making any kind of sexual advances towards you, then she starts to bring up or bring into account your sexuality or sexual preference. And I'm like, what does that have to do with my answer of no? Like,
it's weirdly as if a way of peer pressuring you into giving them what they want. So let me take away from his sexuality and take away from his masculinity, because then it's like, all right, not just your sexuality, your sexual orientation. It's, all right, what are you not working with a lot? And then they just go to attacking you, and it's almost like I said, trying to pressure you into doing stuff, because it's happened to me. You turn someone down and they get upset that, or, they start blowing up your phone, or they go to other people and even talk crap behind your back.
It's a guilt trip, and maybe it's because they're used to getting their way.
Yep.
And I say women handle it harder than men, but I've seen the screenshots of when guys get rejected in the DMs, and they'd be like, "What up, beautiful? Hey, 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 what up?"
Yeah. or even where they go to antagonize them. Well, they'll go into comments or any type of social media platform, and they'll just belittle them, immediately go for the low blows, talk about the weight, talk about the age, talk about, they belong to the streets, all this and that. So we're not saying that men don't deal with it. And as a man, we have no problem calling other dudes on it. Yeah. It's just that a lot of times it seems like women aren't always held to the same standards of accountability when it comes to, taking rejection well, because they flip out, they lose their cool, they want to blame, they start this thing where it's not me, it must be something wrong with them, or girl,
it's like no, they keep trying to touch on you, and next thing you know, you're slapping their hand away, and then shit just gets wild. It's like, I don't understand why it has to be different. I mean, if the roles were flipped, and I'm using the grandiose example of Hollywood because that seems to be the spotlight when it comes to issues of consent. But if the roles were flipped, I feel like the outrage and the hashtags
it would be completely
and the madness, it would not be there. Because I mean, I'm not saying that or taking away from anybody's story.
No.
It shouldn't happen at all. But I feel like when it comes to guys rejecting women's advances, then it gets downplayed because society has built up the image of what our masculinity should be. We should be, I believe we talked about this on a previous episode, the Sean Connerys, and be accepting of, sleeping with multiple women. And I'm like, you know what? That sounds ridiculous. That's not how it actually is.
No, not at all. And, to anybody who's been through those experiences, whether, a man or female, I mean, like I said, we're not just specifically saying men are in the wrong sometimes.
Yeah, men are douchebags.
we get that, absolutely. But women, seems like just because of the way y'all were brought up compared to the way we were brought up, it just seems like you're told a different narrative than we are. So when you're told no, or someone doesn't give you that attention, then you then have to go out elsewhere and seek that, or find a way to elicit that response. No means no. Move on. There's billions of people on the planet
with billions of preferences.
Exactly. So you'll be all right.
And so let me ask you this: tell me about a time that you got rejected the hardest.
Shoot, I mean, I would say growing up a lot. As in high school, it happened to me a lot. I'm not the most attractive person, and sometimes, you'll see a girl that's real attracted to. That's what it was. She was. I can't remember what class it was. I think it was art or some crap like that. I wasn't really into it. The only reason I took the class was because she was in it. So that's guys. Don't come on. Don't if I was a young pupperoonie.
And this is where simping began.
And it did.
This is where the simping began.
And I remember we were doing some stupid clay thing or whatever, and I walked over, went over to her, and she was making it whatever, and I was like, oh, that's some good sculpting you're doing there. And she's like, yeah, I'm really into it. She's like, what you doing? And my thing was just, it was just jumbled together, and
cattywampus.
Pretty much, it was janky. So I then thought it was a great idea to continue to flirt with her, and then finally she got to that point to where she was just like, hey, not interested. I get that why you took this class. She knew why I took the class too. That was the crazy part. And she's like, I could tell, but she's like, no, I got a boyfriend, this and that, and it sucked a little bit, but life goes on. Oh, I lived on.
That's your worst. Oh my goodness.
That's one that comes to mind.
Like for me, high school. Even still, we'll go back that far.
Yeah.
Approaching a girl and getting flat up told no, and then after that, getting told that you are then ugly.
Wow!
I was like,
I don't think that's happened. Jesus, ugly.
Talk about a soul crush, man. I'm talking about, this is why I am cold right now. Yeah. Cold-hearted. Nah, but seriously, that stung a little bit. But it's high school.
Yeah.
It's high school, and I'm not going to say these kids don't know no better, but they don't know no better.
They don't. Compared to what we, went through, not saying it's not any easier like we discussed. Nowadays, you get bullied or some stuff happens, and so now there's somebody there that could happen to be recording it. Right. So here you got to relive it the rest of your life. Compared to when we went to school, where
check this out. I didn't get on MySpace and make a whole bulletin about it.
That's true too, or Facebook, because a lot of y'all like to do that. Put your lives on there, because that's just, I guess you just like to.
And I do be reading. I pay attention to all your drama. I read all of that shit.
And I don't know why y'all think. And then you wonder why everybody's always in my business, because you put it out there. Some things can be kept, internalize it, take it in, move on.
Side note: women who do that. Not a good look to us guys as potential candidates, as people want to date, because we don't want our business out there. No. Our private life is our private life, and everybody's not in our private life, but whatever. Anyways, back on topic, women and rejection. It's unfortunate, but I feel like we all need to learn how to handle rejection, even at a young age, because you're going to end up in the world. You're going to end up not getting jobs that you want to get. You're going to end up not getting mates that you want to get. It's going to be a lot of rejection before you actually get that one yes. or whatever that leads to your future success. But being able to handle the negative or flip it into something that's going to be able to shape your mindset, that is the key here.
And you know what? And on top of that, there's also okay with constructive criticism. You need to always be looking for that. You always need to be looking for ways to improve yourself, always looking for ways to potentially grow. So not all rejection's bad. Not all of it. There's usually some truth to some things that people tell you. So it's up to you to sort through it and figure out, all right, what's genuine and what's them just being rude to me. So
right.
That's the biggest thing to take from this, fellas, ladies, it's just move on. Don't take it so personally.
Yeah.
Move the heck on. Don't, I know it's easier said than done. Emotions get wrapped up in everything, but just take a step back from it, take it in, internalize it.
Yep.
Move on.
Especially when it comes to hypergamy, because you're going to get it a lot.
Oh, yeah. In the world we live in now, just get used to it. That's part of it.
And with that said, my name is Burnt Reynolds.
Hugh Blackman. Outro.